beautiful. This was actually one of my old Halloween costume ideas.
The Three Blind Mice?
Yes.
I don't know. I do think...
It's perfect for a trio.
I think the outfit's great, though.
Yeah, he looks pretty fly.
What in the... You know what? I think I'd wear that if I had money. Once again, I picked another Lego one.
Another Lego one.
Another Lego one. Lightning McQueen is coming out as a Lego set, and I'm gonna buy this. This is gonna be on my shelf as soon as it comes out, I guess in 2026. But like, it's McQueen, how am I not gonna buy it?
Yeah, good for you.
Right? I hope they make like Mater too. I'll buy that one too.
This was actually me this morning. I did wake up at 3 a.m. and actually realized I have more time to sleep before getting ready and coming here on set.
I feel like that's worse though. I'd rather just sleep through the night, wake up. You know, you get up and you're like, I gotta do this.
It did make me a little disoriented, but if I still have more time to sleep, I'm good.
And on to our TikToks. Maybe not. You know.
So this is actually Brandon's TikTok.
You know, I'm a big college football person, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you maybe not the Ducks, but I think just the environment that it has, it really brings the school together, and it makes me sad that we don't have a football team.
Yeah.
Who played the game, college football?
No.
Love that game.
I kind of wish Lewis had a football team. I feel like fall season is great for football games, but
I think that's what builds it, you know? It really brings a sense of community.
Yeah.
That's why when I see something like this, you know, like the mascots playing around, I think it's great. Let's see what you picked this week. It's a lot of teethy smiles.
I love dogs. I have a dog. I've had dogs my whole life. I think they're so adorable, especially like when you pull down their lower lip and you could see their little teeth. It's so cute. It's so cute.
I think they're very mischievous, I think, if that's the right word. They just like run around and cause chaos. Some of them. I know mine does.
Well, mine doesn't, so. Next up, we share some feel-good stories sure to brighten your day.
Some communities, especially in the Midwest, are trying to find ways to control the geese population, especially in public places. After all, the geese can leave their droppings in areas that people want to stroll. Moline Parks and Recreation says it's time for a cleaner solution. Enter the Goosenator, a remote-controlled, brightly painted device created with Cornell University research. Officials say they're excited to get the popular locations clean for the whole community to enjoy.
Last weekend, hundreds of people affected by childhood cancer experienced one of Iowa's most iconic traditions in a way they've never have before. The greatest tradition in all of college sports, the Hawkeye Wave, for the kids level 11 at Stead Family Children's Hospital. It's a reminder that thousands of people are standing with them as they receive treatment, and this Saturday, more than 90 of those families got to experience it from the other side, inside Kinnick Stadium. Ashley Hall founded Why We Wave Foundation and what started as fundraisers as the Field of Dreams has now developed into a nonprofit organization, bringing smiles and the stadium experience to families who need it most through Hello from the Other Side.
It's official, the world's tallest sunflower is blooming in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it's a tribute to Ukraine, the growers' homeland. Alex Babich immigrated from Ukraine in 1991, and 7 years ago, he planted his first sunflower, the national flower of Ukraine. Then in 2014, after being inspired by a German gardener, Alex was set on breaking the world record for the world's tallest sunflower. Last week, standing at 35 feet and 9 inches was his record-breaking sunflower. He says Guinness World Records are currently processing all of the documents he sent over to make the record official, but expects an announcement by the organization in the coming days. With a big goal crossed off the bucket list and more to come, Babich says he's so thankful for the community around him. Up next, we'll show you what's new at Lewis U. Stay tuned.
Careers and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Today I'm here with Kelly Plass, who is here to discuss the use of AI in the college setting. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. No problem.
Can you explain a little bit about how AI can be integrated into the classroom?
Yeah, so for a student perspective specifically, there's a lot of really great ways to use AI, and one of them is to use it to summarize a book or an article or even an assignment. So if you have an assignment, sometimes professors can be unintentionally confusing for students. And so you can put that assignment into AI and have AI summarize it for you, like teach me like I'm 5, you know? You've heard of that? You know, like,
Yeah,
tell
I've
me
done
like-
that.
Right, exactly. And so it's really great for that. And I've done that, you know, when I work with students, sometimes we're like, I don't even know. And so we just have ChatGPT kind of like help us a little bit with it. It doesn't mean that we can't read the books. I want to be clear that the best way to use it to summarize an article is to help you vet the article, so or the books. Like, do I really want to read this one deeper? So it will like do that skim read thing for you and summarize it, and then you can say, oh, this one's good or this one's bad. That's one of the really great ways to do it, because the stuff is already out there. So that kind of thing.
I feel like it's helpful a lot too, especially when, let's say you're doing like a research paper and you're not sure if you want to use the article, then you could like have that summarized like
Exactly, exactly. So that's what it's perfect for. Like, you don't want to read the whole book, right? You just want it to say, okay, so is this chapter going to be what I need to have for the whole thing that I'm doing? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that.
You know, and with using AI like that, what are some potential risks?
So AI is really, really best friends with mis and disinformation. So it does not care. It has no conscience. There's no thought process. So what it does is it goes and it just pulls stuff from the web. So it doesn't have any reason to vet or tell you it's credible information. It will just pull it from wherever, and there's no thought process like humans have, because it doesn't think. It's just a word salad. And so it's like zeros and ones, and these line up with this, and we'll put them together, and it sounds natural because it's just already out there on the web. So it's really easy to get bad information from using AI. Just completely wrong information. It hallucinates all the time, and so it just gives you an answer, not a right answer, using credible information. So that's one of the disadvantages, is you don't know what you don't know until you verify.
So earlier you had talked about generative AI and then the other one, so if you could bring that up.
Yeah, so AI, artificial intelligence, like true artificial intelligence, that doesn't exist quite yet, because true artificial intelligence has that thing that I was talking about. Like, it has a conscience, it has the ability to vet information, it can look in things credible, and it can discern between information, right? So if you were going to do like the Turing test, where it asks specific questions and how a human would answer versus how you would want an artificial intelligence to answer, if they align, which we have not had that yet, That is true AI, true artificial intelligence. But generative AI it just generates information from the web. And so it takes what you have, it takes anything that already exists. It doesn't create anything new. Artificial intelligence would create something new. And so it just generates what is already there. And so it's like, oh, okay, so this exists, so this must be right. And there's no conscience, no thought process, no vetting, no critical thinking. It just generates from what you give it. It will give you an answer from that.
You had mentioned, what is it, Turing test?
The Turing test, yeah.
Can you explain a little bit what that is?
So let's say if you were going to ask an AI and you wanted to see if it was actually thinking and generating new content, you would ask it something that was very emotional, or you would ask it something that would prove that it actually is creating a thoughtful idea, right? So it would like come up with the idea on its own. But the Turing test has never been actually passed yet. And I say yet because obviously it's going to happen at some point. And so what it does is it just sort of says, okay, so like a human would think this because they're processing the information, they're creating a new thought, and they're generating something that's new, that's thoughtful, that's clearly got emotion, kind of thing. It's all over sci-fi. So if you like were reading sci-fi or watching any sci-fi, I watch it a lot, obviously. They always have, like, the Turing test is always passed. And they're like, oh my gosh, they passed it. Right. It's always a human behind that. Somebody wrote the script.
Yeah.
But in reality, it has never actually been passed yet.
So that it's basically the AI be able to think for itself then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially with school, do you think students should be taught in a different way how to use AI?
Yeah. So to be taught to use AI 100%, I 100% feel that we need to have that part. I mean, it's already everywhere, right? So every time we do a Google search, it comes up. It's our first thing. We don't have Wikipedia come up anymore as the first thing. It's always the AI. Every time we shop, we've got AI generating not only the content that is like, oh, hey, you might like this, but it also reads the reviews for you and summarizes that kind of thing. But it's also used really heavily in business because that's what AI is really great at. It's really great at creating business things because those already exist. So it can use like a template basically and like give you a business letter, an email. It can help you with like emailing your professors so that it doesn't sound like, you know, a Gen Z student did it because you know how professors hate that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you use that language. It will like, no, this is how you do it. It helps you with tone. It helps you with a whole bunch of really great things that way, especially if you put in your own content and say, I need a business letter that would sound like this for these people, you know, like, so to sound professional for a bunch of corporate, right? And you could like define who your audience is. It can help you generate that really easy. And actually businesses are requiring that from people already. So if you go out and you have like an internship somewhere, it's very likely that your boss is going to say, hey, I need you to write a letter for this. Just go ahead and use AI for that. And you have to know how to use it because they're actually expecting people like today, now, to do that. And so, yeah, 100%. We definitely need to learn how to do it and learn how to tell it to do pictures, right? You have to be extremely specific and you have to use the right words. And that's always kind of the hard part is telling the AI what you want it to do.
I mean, I think it's a great tool. Like you had mentioned earlier about like, let's say having an assignment and I don't really understand it.
Yes.
Just having like a different perspective or different wording, I guess, would help a lot.
Generating ideas for things.
Yeah.
That's perfect for that. It's great. I use that all the time. When I try to, so for example, our scavenger hunt for Welcome Week, I used AI for that to generate the questions so that they were fun in an educational way. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's a great tool. How do you think teachers and students could use it together in the classroom?
That's actually a really good one. I think that it really benefits students when teachers have an assignment that requires them to use AI critically. Okay, so not just, hey, generate an assignment, like give me a letter or something that's done by AI, but to have AI create something, especially if it's something a student knows, right? So like you were saying, Lightning McQueen was like your favorite, right? Okay, so you would know a whole bunch of stuff about Lightning McQueen, so you would ask AI to tell you about it, and you could see how quickly it hallucinates, right? Because it'll start telling you stuff that doesn't actually happen, doesn't even exist, and you'd be like, oh, now I know when it's good and when it's not good, because you know about that topic, right?
Yeah.
So that's when it's really done well, especially if you've ever had AI give you an idea of something, or you're like, I want you to give me on a topic, right? And it will write something for you, and it always sounds like really snotty and right, uses those words that like no people use, and then it sounds good, but that's not what your professor's looking for. And so you can like write your own thing and see who's more accurate. I think those are great ways to use it. Absolutely, 100%.
So almost use it like an assistant or like an idea generator for like the start.
Yes, AI right now especially should always be used as a tool, a supplemental tool, not as like the thing. So if you put in your own work, it's great at proofreading, it's great at telling you about tone, like I said. Grammarly is AI. I mean, that's what it does. So you get the perfect grammar because it knows the rules, and it tells you when things have you used Grammarly?
Yeah, I've never thought about it as AI though, but that's a great point.
It is, and so that's actually what it does. There's actually, if you have the paid version, there is an AI where it will generate for you. Don't use that because it's going to generate for you. It's not your own work. But it's great when you're just having it vet, and especially for tone. I love it for tone. Yeah. So like oh, I don't want to sound like, am I sounding like authoritative or snotty, right? So that email that you write that you should never send, Grammarly's great at telling you, you probably shouldn't send that one.
All right, well, you've given me a lot to think about, and I think I'm gonna go home and use AI in a different way, but I appreciate you coming on. I thank you a lot for your information.
Absolutely, anytime.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back after these messages.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Well, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the first episode of Good Morning Lewis of the spring 2025 semester.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.